I'm Rachel Ross, and I'm so excited to sit down and share with you a brief overview of my very first week in the biz. I have been an independent representative now for just a little bit over a week, and I wanted to just kind of sit down with you and give you like the dirty of what it's like to be an Agnes Dora representative. I will start out by telling you a little bit about how I started, and then I will end up telling you about my week one numbers, and just a little bit about what it was like during that first week. So I received my inventory on a Wednesday, July 12th. I got my inventory and I immediately had a live, not a live sale, just a live broadcast on Facebook where I opened all of the boxes and showed off my pieces. I had started my Facebook group already and I had just hit 100 members literally that day. So I did a little hundreds members giveaway where I gave away a pair of leggings and tried to encourage people to tune in just to see what I'm getting out of the box. So I opened all 3 boxes live on camera, and I had a good amount of viewers. You know, to have such a small Facebook group, I was really nervous that I'd be talking to no one, but I had a good amount of people that hopped on to see what I was working with. They had a lot of questions, mainly about sizing and fabrics. They were really curious about the different pieces that I was going to carry, mainly because they're super familiar with another company, and sometimes the other company's sizing can be super confusing, so they had a lot of questions about that. I did not personally feel like I was ready to do a sale at that point, mainly because I was so overwhelmed with like boxes stacked up to here that I wasn't ready to just start selling. Some women are perfectly okay with that, but me and my type A personality, I had to get like super organized. So I just noticed that there's a hanger sticking up right there. Ignore that, okay? Like that's what I'm talking about. My type A like wants to push that down right now. Anyway, back to it. So I opened everything live on that Facebook lives, and it wasn't a sale, just a Facebook live opening. So I encouraged people to come back on Friday when I did an actual sale. I asked my group to vote on the items that they wanted to see the most, and based on what they said, that's what I showed in that sale on Friday. Because I got like 300 pieces, I did not have time to show everything during that live sale, but I tried to accommodate what people were looking for. So on Friday, I had my very first live sale, and I did really well. I found that I actually had a lot of people who messaged me privately afterward asking more questions. Some people had never done a Facebook Live before, so they had a lot of questions about how do I do this, how do I do that? And heck, I had never done a Facebook Live before, so it was new for me too. One thing that was really, really helpful for me that night was having a girlfriend here to help me. My husband has said that he will help me every now and then, but it was really, really good to have some girl support here who sat behind the camera and read off any of the comments that I maybe didn't see. I think I was so overwhelmed and just so excited and like full of emotion that I had a hard time keeping up with the comments as they were scrolling. I think I've gotten better at that. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm consciously thinking about reading what people are writing. So it was really helpful to have my friend behind the camera who read things off to me. I had another live sale following that on Sunday. So some people weren't able to tune in on Friday, so I wanted to give them the opportunity to see it again on Sunday. After that, I believe it was the following Wednesday where I did an album sale. So in my first week, I had 3 sales, 2 live, 1 album sale here on Facebook. I actually found that my first live and my album sale sold about the same amount of stuff. But what I've also had a lot of luck with is women who are saying, oh, I love that thing you've got there, but it's not my size. Can you find it for me? I am an absolute gem hunter. I love it. It's like this weird thrill that when I find something somebody's after, it's just like so exciting. So I've really enjoyed hunting things down for people, which has also been a really big piece of my business. So week 1, Friday to Friday, these are the numbers. I want to preface this with, I don't know if these numbers are good. I flat out have no idea. I'm just personally sharing from what has happened to me in week 1. I've watched a lot of these YouTube videos where women are throwing out these thousands and thousands of dollars, and it sounds amazing, and I hope to get there someday, but I'm not there yet. That's just honest. I'm not there yet. but I hope to be. So I think one thing that I've been really so in love with Agnes Dora is that they're just so inspiring, and the women are just, they don't promote competition. Actually, we just had a conference last week where like the big theme was bloom is what it was called, and I hope I get this quote right, something about a flower doesn't grow in comparison to those around it, it just blooms. So it doesn't compare itself to the others around it, it just blooms. So don't compare yourself to me. This is just what happened in my very first week. So here we go. The nitty gritty of week 1, 7 full days of being an independent rep. I sold 42 items in 1 week. I started with, I think it was almost 200 or 300, I don't really remember, but I sold 42. So I was like, hey, that's awesome. I was really happy with that. 42 things flew off of the racks. Those 42 items totaled $1,600 in retail. So I sold $1,600 worth in my first week. I found that the 2 items that were the most popular during those sales were the Muse and the Relaxed Ruffle, which I was kind of surprised by. I think a lot of women share some fears about the Muse. They're afraid of the Muse, but it's gorgeous. And I think the women in my group realize that, because the Muses and the Ruffle, or the Relaxed Ruffles, seem to fly off my shelves. I told you that very first Wednesday with 100 people in my group, and over the course of that week, I grew to 160. So I only have a tiny group, guys. Like, there's some women, I'm not comparing myself because I'm a flower, and I'm not comparing myself to the others around me, but there are some women who have literally thousands of people in their groups. I had 160, and I still sold 42 items. I mean, I felt really, really confident about that. I have also found that people who were able to come to my house and see this stuff in person liked it 10 times more than they did on the screen. That's just a challenge that I think we have with Agnes and Dora right now, because we are just so small, and there is a dominant, it seems, company who so many people are familiar with, that when they see this stuff, they're like, whoa, the quality is enhanced, the colors are enhanced, the styles and the designs are enhanced. Like, people give it 2 thumbs up every single time I get them in here to physically put their hands on these things, because they really love it. So those are my numbers: 42 items, $1,600. My group grew from 100 to 160, and my most popular items were the Muse and the Relaxed Ruffle. So was it easy? No. I found myself coming home every single day, because I work full time. I'm in education, so I'm actually back to school already, believe it or not. So I work full time. So when I get home, those are my hours to do this business. I have found that I spend a lot of time in my dining room, which is where I am right now, because it's not easy. I do a lot of work throughout the week, but it's super rewarding. I have had an absolute blast working this business, and I was really excited to bring you these week 1 numbers, and my hope is that my 160 member group will just continue to grow and grow, and maybe someday I'll be able to bring you some of those wowzer numbers that some other women have shared on YouTube. So I hope this was a little bit inspiring and maybe gave you an idea of what's possible. If you have any questions about what I do, why I do, or if you just want to shop with me, all my information is below. So I would encourage you to look me up on Facebook. It's Agnes and Dora by Rachel Ross. And please shoot me an email if you have any questions, or leave me a comment. I'd love to chat. So thanks for watching, and maybe I'll bring you a 1-month video here soon. So take care. Thank you. Bye.